So that's Vignesh. Vignesh is a quiet, shy boy from Chennai, India.
So you can
And
put it
him
through
and his 20 classmates joined us with Crossover last summer. In fact, Vignesh only came for the last 3 days. Before Crossover, Vignesh was a child who was bullied to the point that he didn't even want to join his classmates outside of school for an opportunity with us. So what makes a boy like Vignesh stand out? Why does his smile and talent, and yet lack of opportunity, doom him typically for failure? Well, as the son of a woman who was born and raised in a Catholic orphanage in Chennai, and a man who traveled across the world as a mechanic with $6 in his pocket, I can tell you the real story is about change, changing the story and changing their path. My parents are the real story. I'm their story. So Crossover was created with the idea from all the words spoken, encouraged, tiger-mommed, if you will, and told to my brother and I so that my parents would help their children find success. Crossover Basketball and Scholars Academy is a nonprofit, international-based program, education program that uses basketball as a vehicle of change. We are not looking to create the next Michael Jordan. We know that's not going to happen. But we're hoping to use the pillars of leadership, character, teamwork, and communication to help kids grow. When we looked at wealthier, successful kids, what we found was the fact that these learned skills would then be translated into victories in the classroom. Most education nonprofit programs or poverty elimination programs focus on the idea that more school hours and more technology are always the answer, and this is a belief that's being held universally. Unfortunately, if you are not a child born into privilege, even that of middle-class privilege, well, then it's your job, your duty, your responsibility, even your blessing to make up this difference that exists materially. And if not, well, too bad. Good luck. You didn't do enough. When I approached Teach for India about becoming involved with Crossover, it seemed like a slam dunk to me. A free program for underprivileged children should be a hit. Unfortunately, the teachers just didn't buy into it. I mean, we are talking about India, which is not quite a sports powerhouse, and adding hours to an already grueling day for these teachers. In fact, only one teacher, Ram Sundaram, took a chance and brought his class to Crossover last summer. And what he found was astounding. Ram's class all of a sudden discovered the connection that exists between sport and education. And when I talked to Ram and saw if any of these parents had any concerns themselves about sending their kids to a program like ours, he said there was none. He said, in fact, the parents were happy to have the kids there. In fact, they were relieved that for a few more hours a day, they didn't have their kids at home. This is a universal theme usually, but in this case, these parents are thinking about ways that they can spend a few extra hours a day making money. Is this working? Well, the idea is that we started in 2012 with 45 children in Chennai. And this year, we've already had to put a limit of 450 kids on the program. Teach for India and those 20 children last year have seen a lasting impact in the last 8 months and are sending us an additional 190 students. So, if I project this out on a cool growth chart, we look pretty awesome. But on the other hand, the numbers that are even more staggering are these. Most students just don't have a chance at India. Now, I'm standing in front of an audience that likes to ask the question, why? In fact, you've probably all looked at these different speakers throughout the day and asked why at least 10 times. But most of us are fortunate enough not to have been raised in traditional Indian schools. In Indian schools, for the most part, why is almost an evil question. Asking questions does not result in an answer, it usually results in a scolding, because it shows either a sign of disrespect or a lack of paying attention. So, how do we fix this? Quite honestly, we talk to our Crossover students about making the effort and self-advocating. They ask the why so that they can learn and understand the material better and pass the tests, even if they're scolded. Because the other option is that they then don't ask the questions, remain silent, eventually struggle, fail, and drop out of school. So, Ram's class in these last 8 months has seen bullying completely eradicated. They've seen that physical violence is no longer used to resolve disputes, and we've seen that the students are showing empathy. In fact, they let each other pass in front of them, they share, and they understand that they are teammates in helping each other find success, and that success awaits them with this hard work. Because there's now a connection and interaction between the student, the teacher, and an understanding why they're going to school. Now at Crossover, we're different. We are not trying to create a less poor rickshaw driver or a less poor house servant. It's not our goal. We're using those pillars of leadership, character, teamwork, and communication to open the eyes of these students and understand that there's more out there, and that they don't have to just be this less poor rickshaw driver or less poor house servant, but their lot in life can change. In fact, they can now be a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, a community leader, maybe even a coach. They can be anything that they dream. Vignesh and his classmates are dreaming now. Thank you.